I see some of y'all missed last week, man. We talked about beliefs. Hopefully you watched the replay on YouTube. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am Coach Lynch. And catch these replays because it's a ton of content. It's kind of hard to catch everything in one shot. It's pretty tough doing that stuff. So take notes. Make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you got something to take notes with. Also, make sure that you run this stuff a few times. All right, y'all. Last week when we went over beliefs, we were trying to get you to recognize your beliefs. And in recognizing your beliefs, I actually had you finish a sentence. And one of the sentences were, life is like. And I wanted to find out what life is like to you. And I wanted you guys to figure out, how you completed those sentences because the language would basically determine your belief system. Like I said, we talked about beliefs. We talked about what they are. Of course, we define stuff, and a lot of us know the definition of things, and we can repeat those things back to us. But when we actually see them come up in our lives or we act them out every single day, it's hard for us to then match the definitions with the actions in our lives. So I had you do this exercise, and we started off with, we put out a video. You guys seen Terrell, and Terrell was like, life is like a fight to him. And, I'm glad that, a lot of you on here are transparent and, vulnerable and forthcoming where, you interact with a lot of the things that I ask. And Terrell was able to say life is like a fight to him. And I was then able to explain to you and show you how you have two different types of beliefs. You have an external belief and you have an internal belief. All right. Another way to put that is an explicit belief and an implicit belief. All right. Which simply means that you have beliefs that you express externally or you express outwardly, but they don't necessarily match up with your internal beliefs. So, sometimes we do things that sabotage our external beliefs. So internally, we'll sabotage our external beliefs with our internal beliefs. And at that point, we get a chance to kind of recognize that we have a conflict within our two beliefs. Okay, and that's what that exercise was all about. Before we get started onto the why this week, was anybody able to look at some of those sentences and, kind of like, take some time and really try to finish those sentences because, sometimes I put you guys on the spot and, you haven't received these questions before. So it's kind of hard for you to just, come off the top and say, life is like this or relationships are like this to me. And I wanted to give you, some time to ponder that stuff, to really dig in your bag and figure out what life is like to you, to figure out what relationships are like to you, what money is like, for you or to you. How people see you, how people treat you. And those things were vital questions to answer because, we all tend to, look at ourselves in a certain light, in a certain way, and think of ourselves in a certain way. But how does the world see us? And sometimes we really need to see how it all plays out. So anybody can chime in real quick if you took the belief exercise and went back over it and developed some or went into it a little bit further. And can anybody chime in on that for me?
Yeah, Coach. I said life is like it's like an uphill battle for me right now.
Okay. All right. Expound on that. That sounds like Rico. Is that Rico?
Yeah, it's Rico.
All right. Let's expound on that, Rico.
I mean, just come for me, like I'm doing a lot of new things and getting into a lot of different areas of my life where it's like on my way changing. It's like things come my way to try to knock me off my course, but I know it's going to be an uphill battle. I know things not going to change overnight. So I try to just keep my head above water, and stay positive, and and continue to continue to transition into this new phase of my life.
Yeah,
So
Rico.
it's like an uphill battle.
I love it, man. I love that. I love your transparency, your vulnerability. Life is like an uphill battle. I'm going to join you with that one, okay? I'm going to say that life is like an uphill battle for me as well. The difference between, I'm not sure if it's me and you, but me and another person would be is that I embrace the uphill battle, all right? Whenever I find myself in an uphill battle, whenever I find myself in this stage of life, I then tell myself that I am a seed. Okay. I then tell myself that I am a seed because whenever I'm in an uphill battle, that means I'm developing the push through factor. All right. As a seed, all right, you always got to understand that when you're surrounded by darkness, right? When you're surrounded by things and times that are unknown, you're going to have to develop certain things to push through that season. Therefore, I never seek solace in going downhill. If you think about back in the day, we used to ride our bikes. All right. We used to love the part where we were just going downhill. But did you ever get to the point when you were going downhill and you didn't have to pedal anymore? Well, when you didn't have to pedal anymore, what did we call that? What did we call that, Rico? Somebody help him out. Coasting. All right, now listen, everybody, jot this down. If you find yourself coasting, that means you're going downhill. We're going to put a perspective to, James Penn, you like that? He said, ooh,
I like that.
Let's see that.
I like that.
Yeah. So listen to what I'm saying. Look, check it out. The view is always better from the top of the mountain. You heard what I said? James Penn, you see where I'm going with this? Look, the view is always better from the top of the mountain. But let me tell you something. Look, the one that's on the top of the mountain, the king of the hill, he ain't just land there. Huh? He didn't just land there. He had to climb the hill. You heard what I said? And on his way to the top of the hill, guess what he did? Huh? He knocked some cats down on his way. He threw some cats down along the way. And guess what they wasn't doing no more? They wasn't climbing the hill. They was on their way down. So if you going uphill, if you on your way up, if you on your way up, then you on your way to the top. All I know is, look, if I find myself coasting, then I'm going downhill. And me personally, all I want to do is develop the push through factor. Because I say I'm a seed. Whenever I get in times when I feel like I'm going on an uphill battle, all I know is I'm developing the push through factor. If I ain't going up, then I must be going down. You hear what I said? You got to have a totally different perspective for the seasons that you in. Because as a man thinketh, so shall he be. I said adversity introduces a man to himself. So as you are on your quest for your new self, for the new you, for the new Rico, look, those uphill battles, they will introduce you to you. And if you don't want to fight them, then you can't be the guy that conquers the top of the hill. Because the minute you stop fighting that uphill battle, you start going down. And each level you go up, you're introduced to a new Rico. That means in order to be introduced to a new Rico, you got to be introduced to a new adversity, a new challenge, a new controversy, a new problem, a new crisis. Look, I can't make this shit up, dog. So if you going uphill, then you climbing. Then you getting to something. And then you go on and say, now let everybody else coast. And as soon as they start coasting, you know what you're going to do? You're going to keep going past them. And I ain't looking to coast. Not no more. Oh, no. Somebody else tell me what they think life is like. It don't even have to be life. It could be your relationships. It could be money. It could be whatever it was. Remember, we talked about some things. Remember, I was like, money comes to me abundantly and frequently. Who that? Chris?
To be birthed into a butterfly.
Ooh, I like that, Chris. You know, I wrote about the butterfly effect in my first book. If y'all didn't get my first book, this is a great time for me to get a shameless plug in here. The 7 Levels of Discipline That Manifest Success was my first book, and I wrote about the butterfly effect. So listen, y'all, I'm glad you're using these analogies because, man, listen, these are the principles that I've built all of my success and all of my life on. Remember, principles govern laws and laws govern the universe. If you can understand and apply these principles to your life, things like being a butterfly, the butterfly, being a caterpillar, right? Talk to me a little bit, Chris, about you being a caterpillar. Talk to me about that.
Well, you know, during that little stage for myself, I see myself going through different changes, you know, from coming into the coaching role as a high school coach, going into as a graduate assistant, not being like a director of recruiting, you know, like I'm able to see the growth that I've, you know, went through the struggle and went through and things like that to change. So now I'm seeing myself blossom into the person I've created that I wanted to be, you know, and it just keep happening, man. It's crazy.
I like that, man. So you believe that these small causes are going to equal large effects?
Right. I believe like the process that I did and I've created has not only helped me out, but it's opening doors for some younger coaches as well, you know. So, you know, just this growth that I'm seeing myself go through and being that caterpillar, man, now I'm seeing myself blossom.
All right. So listen, I want you to understand one thing about the butterfly effect. All right. It means that look, insignificant, like small choices are going to have a profound effect on your life. The smallest things that you guys don't think are important, these things can ultimately change your life to a very large degree. So I see James Penn, and he's sitting in his car right now, and he's tuned in and everything, right? But one day, right, I received some information, and that information was that 300 hours of audio learning would give me the equivalent of an advanced level college degree, right? So I turned my car into a mobile university. I turned it into a learning machine, so to speak, right? And when I did that, I used to just play learning stuff all the time. And listen, one day I just wanted to break the monotony and mute his joint for me. I just wanted to break the monotony of listening to books all the time. So I went to music. So, you know, I turned on an R&B station because I just wanted to groove out, right? And during that R&B, station, when I cut it on, it was a song by Music Soul Child that came on, right? And I think it still didn't mute. When that song by Music Soul Child came on, it made me think of, you know how like nostalgia, you know how you think of a certain time in a certain place when a certain song comes on? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. So when the song by Music Soul Child come on, it was a time when I used to, when I was dating a girl who is my wife now. I was dating her back then when that song came on, and we had went our separate ways. But when I cut the radio off at that time, it made me reach back out to my wife, who wasn't my wife then. And when I reached back out to her, I wanted to find out what she was doing at the time, if she was messing with anybody or what was going on. But that was the beginning of our reconnection. And then later on down the line, we wind up getting married. But that insignificant choice to cut the audiobook off, to break the monotony of me studying all the time, to hear that one song at that particular time, to jog the memory and the connection that I had from some of the times that I spent with a woman who I believed that was, that I had a great connection with, allowed me to then proceed with what I thought was right at the time and reach back out to her. And then, boom, next thing you know, we getting married. I'm moving to North Carolina, and I'm developing this community and this gym, and I'm meeting all you guys, and here I am on a call with like 8 books and all this different types of stuff. Yo, you talk about the butterfly effect, man. I'm talking about an insignificant choice, right? that led to something major and meaningful in my life. But I continued to put in the work over that time and follow those instincts to get it right. So listen, man, I just want to tell y'all, like, I be writing about some crazy stuff, man. And it is really dope the way we be putting this stuff together. But I love giving it to everyone else so that they can learn and prosper from it. And this is the reason why we're here today on this call, because it's all about our why, developing our why, understanding what our why is, and developing a why statement. So that's what we're here today. We're here today to find out if, you guys, one, understand what your why is, right? If we're gonna have to define it, we're gonna have to develop it, and then we're gonna have to, we have to develop it in us, and then we're gonna have to develop a why statement so that we can actually, talk about it and speak about it to others. So real quick, I'm gonna put up the success of everything you do will be determined by which the intention you started it. Please jot that down. Everyone, please jot that down. All right, now that you guys got that down, the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because in every business, like, everybody can talk about what they do. My man, Trevor, you can tell me what you do, right? Explain to the people what you do.
I am a personal trainer. I own Rock Fitness. I train people. I get people in shape.
Okay.
I transform lives. That's my goal.
All right. How do you do that?
I do it by giving them as much as me as I possibly can. I give them what I've been through and how I came out of the situation that I was in. So I use my situation as a testimony.
Yeah. And why do you do that, Trevor?
I know what it feels like to hit rock bottom. Like, I know what it feels like to be drug across the mud, And for me to come out of what I went through with the mind and the drive that I have now, it means something. It means a lot, And I always said that when I made it out, I was going to try to touch as many lives as I possibly could. But then with that same breath, when I did come home, my why changed. Because now I'm married and I have a beautiful daughter now. So that's my why. I can't stop. If I stop, that means they don't eat. So that's my drive. That's my motivation. My brothers and my sisters, they look at me. They look at me like, what you gonna do next? So my whole focus is to show them that no matter what you go through in life or what you've been through in life, that you can get up off the ground, dig yourself out of that hole, and you can elevate, and you can surpass anybody in life that you want to, but you got to be willing to put in the work.
Okay.
So that's my why.
Okay. What we're gonna have to do, Trevor, is we're gonna have to narrow that down into a statement. A statement that has impact. A statement something that you can just come right off the top and you can give it to the people, man. Because what I wanted to tell you, I want you all to know this. So all of you, if you can, jot this down real quick. Your why is what sets you apart from everybody else. Jot that down real quick. It's your purpose. It's what inspires you to take action. Your why is also what inspires other people to take action. They also, look, if they're inspired by your why, they're going to spread your ideas, right? And they're going to buy your products. So you guys hear me speak, and when you hear me speak, you often hear me give you my why statement. My why is to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body so that they can ultimately live the life of abundance. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a why statement so that you can, you can give the people exactly what they need to know about you and why you do it. ASAP. Look, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you can't get to why you doing it ASAP, then it's going to take you that much longer to get them to buy into you. People are not buying into what you do. There's people that have been doing fitness way longer than you. They're way more established than you. Their rates are lower than yours. They got more people that go to their gyms. They're not coming to you because you do fitness. All right? People don't come to me because I do fitness. People come to me because, for one, I can tell you what I do in one word. I transform people. I'm a transformation specialist. I transform lives. And how do I do that? By educating them, motivating them, and empowering them to transform their minds and bodies so they can ultimately live the life of abundance. So the reason why my brand is where it is and has continued to go where it's going is because I can implement more information, I can implement more education, more motivation, more empowering tools in one business where people never thought or sought to do in that particular business. Y'all hear what I said? So now what happens is my particular business becomes a one of one. None before, none to come. Nobody is approaching fitness the way that we are approaching fitness, and it's because of our why. Our fitness is not about us doing anything with them doing exercise. The exercise is a byproduct of us doing the things that we're called to do, which is educate, motivate, and empower them, right? So when I teach you how to do your why statement, it'll all come together. Anybody else got some of their whys over there? Anybody? So your why is your purpose, it's a cause, and it's a belief. It's not a result. You heard what I said? It's a purpose, a cause, and a belief. It's not a result. The result is going to be tied in to what you do. So when we create a why statement, write this down. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but just write this down. Your why statement is going to have two parts. One is going to be your contribution, and two is going to be the impact. So my why statement has a double contribution where I say two, educate, motivate, and empower people. Here's the double. Here's the double. 2, educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body so that, here's the impact, so that they can ultimately live the life of abundance. So the destination is prosperity. It's abundance. Nobody's business is talking about abundance and prosperity. The church ain't even talking about that. Think about it. So what I do is, you ever notice how I get a lot of leaders to come into our business? Because our business is built on the foundational why. And they see the community, which is the congregation, have this exponential growth because of where it started from. Now they're actually seeing how the business is built off this foundation. So when you figure out, your why, you're going to realize that your why is at the bottom. And even though it's at the bottom, it becomes the foundation. So when you look at that pyramid that I gave you guys a couple weeks ago, if you look at that pyramid, you go back to your notes, I had you guys screenshot it. The very bottom of the pyramid is on is the why. You always want to have a solid foundation when you're building, right? Anytime we building something, we got to have a solid foundation. So even though goals are at the top of the pyramid, I gave y'all the joint about the goals, the bottom is the why, right? So let me go to this real quick. I want to pull up something so you guys. All right, this is what I wanted you guys to jot down real quick. Your why statement. Here's the format. To blank, so that blank. Remember, the first two is the contribution, and the so that is the impact. So remember, mine was to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body so that they can live the life of abundance, right? So if you think about it, everything that I do is based off of education, motivation, and empowering people. If you look at my Instagram post, if you look at my feed, if you look at the uniformity of it, they never stray away from education, motivation, and empowering people. See, everything I do is fueled by my why. And the reason why we get people to follow us in our business model and everything that we do is because we operate from the inside out. When we operate from the inside out, we speak to the part of the brain that controls the behavior. Did everybody hear what I said? I said we speak to the part of the brain that controls the behavior, not only of us, but of the individual. So in your limbic brain is the middle, the inside part of the brain, which causes you to move from an emotional standpoint. When you move from an emotional standpoint, you develop the chemical emotion, right? And when you produce that, now you're tying a feeling to what you're doing. Now when you move based off of that feeling, you're able to connect with that every single time. Your why is super serious, y'all. All right, so what I want to do now, because we're defining it and stuff like that, but when you know your why, it's going to help you stay committed to your goals and stuff like that. If you notice, like, I don't stray away from a lot of stuff. Like, you don't see me right now doing real estate. Like, if I get into real estate, it's because I'm going to be buying buildings that's connected with AWOL. And there's nothing wrong with real estate. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, I'm connected to my why, and I channel all my energy in the same lane, in the same focus. So I mess with books, I mess with speaking, I mess with stuff that is aligned with my purpose, with my why, with education, motivation, and empowering people to transform their mind and body so that they can ultimately live the life of abundance. Some of us, we're pulled in many different directions because our why isn't clear to us. If our why isn't clear to us, then it's not going to be clear to people around us. If it's not clear to people around us, then they will have you doing all types of stuff. They will come at you with all types of stuff. They will offer you all types of stuff. And all those different things, they'll look good to you. Some of y'all is, you might not be of Jamaican descent, but you're Jamaican. You got 12 jobs. You do a million different things, and ain't none of them lined up with each other. Yo, y'all know me. I'm just going to throw something out there. If you're offended by my Jamaican joke, then something, you need to be off this call. All right?
Hey, Coach.
Go ahead. Talk to me. Talk to me.
All right, so check it out. I have a why, but I'm having a little trouble like putting it all into one sentence, being more direct.
Okay.
So my why is of course my family, and it's more like being an example, from where it is that I come from. You know what I'm saying? Making an impact on the youth, and just trying to be the person that I didn't have.
Sounds like you want example in there some type of way. Like you want to be the example. Is to be the example or become the example so that the next generation can, this is that and third. So your why has to give you emotional fulfillment. It's one thing to be able to put, listen, let me tell you something. I could have, there's a lot of different things that motivate me, that intrinsically and extrinsically motivate me. One of those things is providing for my family and loving my family and being an example and all the different type of stuff. But I could be somewhere as a salesman making 6 or 7 figures, and it doesn't mean I'm going to have emotional fulfillment, because at the end of the day, I'm called to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and bodies. So if I can't do that, my 6 and 7 figure job, I'm still going to be stressed out because I don't have emotional fulfillment. That's why you get all these people out here who they hang up, they kill themselves, they commit suicide, they're in states of depression, and they have a whole bunch of money. So I get it. We all want to feed our family. That's dope. Me personally, I never want to go back to jail. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I got a bunch of different things that extrinsically motivate me and intrinsically motivate me, and they're going to light a fire in my belly. But which one of them is going to actually give me the emotional fulfillment? Now, I could stay out of jail with a 7-figure job and still not be emotionally fulfilled. Yo, you got to figure that stuff out. Now, I could put it into words and stuff like that, and I can make it sound real funky and all that stuff, and real dope and hip and hop and all that, but you're the one that's going to have to figure that out. I don't got 12 different jobs. I'm not Jamaican. A 7-figure joint ain't just going to make me happy unless I'm educating, motivating, and empowering people to transform their mind and body so they can live the life of abundance. Every time y'all get a transformation, every time you step up another level, every time you defeat another demon, every time you move one step further away from your inmate number, every time you get into another another thing that moves you to a better you, I get emotionally fulfilled. So I ride y'all super hard. So I'm on you super hard. So I cuss you out because if you don't get a transformation, I don't get fulfillment. So I'm talking about real transformation, Trevor. I'm not talking about somebody losing no weight. I'm talking about somebody living a life of their dreams, of abundance, of prosperity. So this stuff is all devoted to my why. And the key to success and the key to life is knowing your why, is knowing your purpose, is knowing why you exist. And what I want to do is I want to give you 4 questions. I want to give you all 4 questions that you can ask yourself so you can develop your purpose or find out your key to life. All right? Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so number 1, 4 questions to discovering your why. What makes you come alive? Now, Rico, I know I see you come alive when you deliver them dope speeches, right? You come alive.
Definitely.
The word inspire, so I see you inspiring people, Rico, and you like to inspire people. But the word inspire, it comes from the Latin meaning, look, to breathe life into. You heard what I said? Yo, so when you start to think about what you breathe life into, then it becomes bigger than you. You heard what I said? When you start to think about what you breathe life into or what makes you come alive, then it gets bigger than you. Huh? So look, my why wake me up in the morning. My why is bigger than 2:45. It ain't like, oh, 2:45, that's early. Nah, my why is early. You hear me? My why wake me up. Huh? My why keep me going from state to state. My why had me in Charlotte, right? Then I drove to Raleigh. Then I went to Jersey. Then I was in Philly. All that to come back today and do legs. And my why keep me going every single day. Man, I'm not playing with this stuff. Huh? I'm here to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body so they can ultimately live the life of abundance. I'm a transformation specialist, man. And look, when I say this stuff, motherfuckers, it's like, whoa. They ain't never heard it. But I guarantee you, if you on this King's Call, right, and you develop a why statement that has a contribution and an impact, right, people will begin to buy into your why. Remember, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. There's a million other gyms around here, right? But they don't do fitness why we do fitness. Huh? There's a million other trainers around here, but they don't train why we train, right? Look, I'm only using physical fitness as a platform to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body. If physical fitness wasn't there, then I would use a book to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body so they can live a life of abundance. If the book wasn't there, I would use the microphone and I would do motivational speaking to educate, motivate, and empower people to transform their mind and body so they can live the life of abundance. If none of that was there, I would still be in your face, educate you, motivate, and empower you to transform your mind and body so you can ultimately live the life of abundance. So people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. But since I'm a transformation specialist, guess what I do? I transform the way that people train. I'm transforming the industry and the business, right? I'm taking personal development and transforming that. I'm taking personal development and putting more information into the space. Nobody has ever thought to bring physical fitness into personal development and to bring personal development into physical fitness. Think about it. The shit is genius. But you got to know your why in order to change the game. You can't change the game if you're following everybody else's game. Yo, I'm writing my own rules. I'm doing my own thing. And it's all because, look, I know my why. I know why I'm here.
For sure.
So the number one is, look, when you focus on endeavors that put a fire in your belly, then you grow your impact and influence in ways that nobody else can. See, nobody, they don't have the impact and the influence that I have because they don't have my why. You hear what I said?
Yeah.
They can't do what I do because, look, they not coming from where I'm coming from. I'm coming from here with it. I ain't got to remember these speeches and none of this. I'm coming from here with it. I'm coming from the heart. I'm coming from the mind, the will, and the emotions. You hear what I'm saying? So, look, number two, what are your innate strengths? I want you to think about all your strengths and stuff like that. So Trevor, all of you personal training guys, Rico and Coach Rob and everybody out there, one of my strengths was personal training. Look, personal training. So as I got my why into personal training, it then began to show me different gifts. It then began to show me, to lead me to different ways to use my purpose. So I read a book back in the day by Rick Warren. Everybody write this one down. You guys should get this one. It's transformed and changed my life, yo. There's a bunch of them out there. And as you guys come on these calls every week, I'll probably give you another one. You shouldn't be reading a different one every week. You should be on one for quite some time. But this one is called Purpose-Driven Life. We're talking about our why. We're talking about a purpose. This is by Rick Warren, and this is the Purpose-Driven Life. So at that time, I figured out my purpose was to help and assist people in any way I can. So it was very vague, right? And it was just, it was out there. But I knew I wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted to assist them in any way I can. But as the years went, I started to, look, the why statement started to evolve. And instead of just helping and assisting, I began to help them and assist them by educating them, motivating them, empowering them. Look, with that assistance to transform their mind and body, because I realized that, physical fitness alone wasn't going to cut it. I realized that true transformation couldn't happen without a renewal of the mind. So if I was a transformation specialist, right? Everybody use this word transform, right? You got them at Gold's Gym, they saying transform, we're transforming people. Bull if you're not starting with the mind. The word simply says that a transformation can't happen without a renewal of the mind. So if you ain't got nothing involving the mind in there, right? And if you're not mastering the mind, if you're not studying the mind, if you're not learning the mind, if you're not practicing things to go with the mind, then ain't no way you're gonna be able to help people with their mind. All right. So if you don't know physical fitness and you don't know psychology and self-help, then it's going to be hard for you to start spitting these joints off and say, this is that and third. So I'm going to need you to learn, study, practice, and master not only physical fitness, but psychology and self-help. If you cook food, Cousin Duran, you got to understand that, listen, In order for them to buy into your product, they got to buy into your why. In order for you to get them to buy into your why, you're going to have to know what psychologically moves them, right? Because people learn through their senses. They need to learn about your food through their senses. Therefore, if you're not studying body language, if you're not studying psychology, if you're not studying self-help, if you're not studying marketing, if you're not studying all those different things, then it's going to be hard for you to draw them in to that sense of taste based off of what they know mentally. The mind only works in pictures. So why do you think certain things pop up across our timelines and then all of a sudden we want pizza? You better figure out how to get on their timelines. So a person like me, guess what I do? I got a whole website just for hashtags. Yes, if you see me with 30 hashtags, it's not cool hashtags. It's not because it sounds dope. I use 5 hashtags that go from 0 followers to 10,000 followers. Then I got 5 hashtags that go from 10,000 followers to 100,000 followers. Then I got 5 hashtags that go from 100,000 to 500,000. Then I got 5 hashtags that go from 500,000 to 2 million. Then I got 5 hashtags. I got 30 hashtags that go all the way up to the Uber hashtags of 20 million and 10 million and 5 million, so that I can connect with the algorithms of Instagram and Facebook, so I can become on the Explorer page and pop up on people's timelines. Y'all don't understand that everything that I do is rooted in my why, so it helps me increase my platform. I'm not just following any stupid ass trend. I'm giving y'all information that could change your life. So when I'm spending time on these social medias and stuff like that, it's because I know that, listen, as soon as the world gets eyes on this, it's going to change the way that fitness is approached for years to come. And I'm not happy with the corner market of Greensboro, North Carolina. You know it's too slow for me. I just came here to take over real quick so that I could stick out like a sore thumb. And then after that, I could go on to the next market with a name. Come on, man. Y'all got to figure. My man Beanie said, quiet towns and tie him down. That's what he said. I'm still pitching the same shit. I just found me a mound, man. I'm still pitching. So number 2, what are your innate strengths? All right. What are the things that you've always been good at? All right. Sometimes, like, it takes other people like a long time to figure stuff out, and they're wondering how to do certain things. But to you, it comes really, really easy. And when that happens, you kind of operating in your element. But what I want to do is tell you what your element is, and I want you guys to write this down. Your element is the point at which your natural talent and your skill, they meet your passion. So your element, when you're moving in your element, that's when your natural skill and talent meet your personal passion.
Say it again one time, man.
Yeah, I said that's where your element is the point at which your natural skill and talent meet your personal passion. Damn, that shit was fire, right? James Finn, you heard me? I said where your natural talent and skill meet your personal passion. So listen to what I'm saying. Like, I had to develop my skill in personal training because I didn't know nothing about it. But my uphill climb, right, from running from the fat man, I was getting all that money in the street. And I was going to eat with this girl and going to eat with that girl. Then going home to eat with my regular girl, right? And I gained all that weight, and I got up to 285 pounds, and then I had to lose the weight. But when I lost the weight, I developed a personal passion. You heard what I said? I developed a personal passion, and I started to learn, and I started to cultivate a skill through disciplined behavior, and that's how I became this trainer with 11 certifications. But as I started to do that, I started to develop more skills because I started to talk to my people and cultivate their mindset for success, right? And when you cultivate somebody's mindset for success and you do it every single day, you start to develop a new skill. And then you start to understand that you have an innate strength or quality that comes easy to you, like speaking, right? And then now your platforms increase and you move from one thing to the next and to the next. And since I can do all these other things, right, that I developed through a process, I'm able to put other people on and allow them to do that process while I'm overdoing another process. And I'm able to still get money over here while I'm doing stuff over here. And I'm still in the uphill climb, but I know that I'm growing and I know I'm developing a push-through factor. So, I embrace the uphill climb because I'm on my quest to becoming the king of the mountain. And on my way to the top of the mountain, all I'm doing is eating shit and knocking shit down. And that's what I do because I'm an alpha. Yeah, straight like that. So look, yo, when people are in the element, man, it just simply means that they're not only productive, but they add more value and they enjoy more personal and professional, here go the big word, fulfillment. You heard what I said? I came from Jersey this week. My wife threw a phenomenal event. I was so proud of her for one, selling out the event from 5 states away, right? And she's 7 months pregnant. Like, yo, we came in, right? The comedian was super dope. The other speaker was super dope. But I got fulfillment because we left out of there knowing that people were educated, they were motivated, they were empowered to transform their mind and body so they could live the life of abundance. And Rico, you know what they saw when they saw me and my wife? They saw the example.
For sure.
They saw the example, Rico, and that gives us fulfillment knowing that we are living a righteous life to be the example. You understand what I'm saying? So that purpose, right? It guides my every action. It doesn't allow me to look at the big booty and become lustrified and fall into lust, right? And my wife's sitting right here. But this is what I'm telling you. Look, the why, it dictates my diet. The why, it dictates who I hang with. The why dictates my decisions. It dictates my choices. Those butterfly choices, Chris, the why dictates that. Because I never would have made that small choice to turn off the radio if I didn't get tired of feeding my mind the books, look, 10 years ago that I was telling y'all to do. The stuff that I'm telling you to do now is what transformed my life. And I'm telling y'all, yo, audio books, 300, this, that, and the third. Not only did I get the equivalent of a college degree, right? If you think about it, anybody here in college, anybody here in school, or if you went to school, all right, how long did a class last? Somebody?
2 hours, 50 minutes.
How long?
2 hours and 50 minutes.
And that's just if you got to class one time a week. Ain't it? One time a week, it's like a 3-hour class, right? Now me, I'm personally getting 3 hours every day on a particular subject. I want y'all to think about that. Pay attention. Because when you went to school, you had a class that was an hour and some change. And if you went 2 times a week, you were getting 3 hours for that class. If you went 1 time a week, it was 3 hours for that one class. Yo, listen, I'm telling you, I know this stuff because what I tried to do with my schedule, this is how I flunked out of school. I tried to get all my Fridays off and my Mondays off and try to have all my classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? So I kept running home every weekend because I had a 5-day weekend. And there you go. I was attached to the town, man. I couldn't stay out of the town. So I flunked out of school, man, and there I was back on the block, fucked my whole life up and everything. But it's all good, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get y'all to understand the significance of the 3 hours, man. So here I was racing in 3 hours, but not only am I obtaining a degree, but that gave me the spark to connect back with the lady who is now my wife. But that's because I acted on the information. Let's go to number 3 real quick, because I got to get these points out. Number 3, where do you add the most value? So I'm trying to get you guys to develop your why and develop your purpose, but you have to answer these questions. Number 1 was, what makes you come alive? We talked about inspiration, breathing life into things breathing life into you. What makes you come alive, right? Number 2, we said, what are your innate strengths? You guys got to figure out your strengths. You got to find your strengths and you got to operate in that element, right? But I said, where do you add the most value, right? So I want to help you answer that question because sometimes a lot of these words are like fluff for us and you know, they sound big and all that stuff. So you don't really know what does that mean? What does that mean? But what are you equipped to help solve, like in your workplace or in your family or amongst your business and stuff like that? What are you equipped to help solve, or what problems do you enjoy solving, or what do you feel passionate about trying to solve? That's where you add the most value. Write those things down, y'all, because this is your homework. These 4 questions, this is your homework. You guys got to do this interaction. Remember, 1 hour worth of interaction is equivalent to 7 to 10 hours of outer action. This is how I get ahead of the game. This is the secret sauce right here. 1 hour of interaction is equivalent to 7 to 10 hours of outer action. Everybody hear what I said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So when we said, where do you add the most value? When you know your greatest strengths and where you can add the most value, you got to think about through the application of your education, of your skill, right? Of all those things that I talked about, I cultivated. That's where I know I add value at. So if you think about it, the reason why, the rates for my speaking engagements go up, the rates for the gym go up, and the demand for what I do goes up is because I continue to add more value and I operate in my strengths, and my strengths are educating, motivating, empowering people to transform their mind and body. How do I do that? I do it through physical fitness. I do it through books. I do it through speaking. I do it through all this stuff. So when you see on my page, what you gonna see? You're gonna see stuff promoting the books. You're gonna see stuff promoting physical fitness. You're gonna see stuff promoting the speaking engagements. And what pays me more bang for the buck? I'm able to touch more people in a speaking engagement because I get 200-300 people in a speaking engagement. Now I can talk to them about my books and my fitness. You got to understand how these things are comprehensive methods where you get a whole bunch of people in front of you and then you can work your purpose. We working. So that got to make sense to y'all. If not, catch the replay. And I know I'll be talking a little fast, but you know what I mean? If you keep up, you can keep up till you caught up. All right, look, the last one, how will you measure your life? So what I talked about earlier was, I remember I said, like, I could get a 7-figure job as a salesman. I said I could be doing, all these different things. I could be Jamaican like y'all and make the ends meet and stuff like that. But where do I get the fulfillment? See, I measure my life by the fulfillment. I measure my life by the transformations. You guys understand what I'm saying? The more transformations that I get, the more lives that I touch, the more people that I course correct, that I train, that I change from that 1 degree shift so they can line, so that they're not 150 miles off course. You understand? Like, that's what these calls are about. They're about course corrections. They're about vice checks. They're about 1 degree shifts. And those 1 degree shifts and those course corrections and those vice checks, they really help me get emotional fulfillment because I know you're steered back in the right direction, closer to your target, closer to the goal, closer to the mark. Yeah, I like this stuff, man. So a lot of us got plans out there, right? But purpose is more powerful than plans. Purpose is going to be the key to your business. It's going to be the key to your motivation. It's going to be the key to your passion. You got to develop this purpose, y'all. We got these, we got the homework, all right? Before I go any further, because I've been rocking. It's almost an hour now. You got to develop this why statement. Remember, your why statement is to, right? Your contribution, so that your impact. And just go back, do the replay. You'll hear mine to educate, motivate, and empower people, right? To ultimately live the life of abundance, to transform their mind and body so they can ultimately live the life of abundance. Now, mine has a double contribution. That's just me. I'm a go-giver, right? Some of us are go-getters, but we're forgetting that the more you give, the more you get. All right, you're forgetting that the art of giving comes back tenfold when you give. All right, we're talking about sowing. All right, I'm a seed sower. I'm also a seed, but I also sow because I knew what it was like to be a seed, so I like to sow. You heard what I said. To contribution, so that impact. All right, and I know you guys are gonna need some help, so just text me, call me, bother me when you see me. You know how I do it. I got to get emotional fulfillment from the fact that you're doing homework. You know what I mean? And me, homework's like practice. If you ain't practicing, then I feel like you like Allen Iverson, and you're gonna end your career in Turkey. Yeah. Yeah, so, with no rings, with no rings. All right. So my man got a couple $70 million contracts, ended up broke. And then he like, yo, it's VA. What you talking about my VA, 7 cities and all that? I'm with you, Trevor, man. You know what I mean?
He graduated from my school.
Oh, man. So you got a special place in your heart for him, huh?
Yeah.
Yo. So listen, 76ers is my all-time favorite team. I don't really watch sports anymore because of my E versus E ratio. You guys remember last week, a few weeks ago, our homework was E versus E ratio. So I spend more time on education than entertainment. I do not like to spend a lot of time on entertainment anymore. Just a fun fact for you guys. I had row A seats for the entire season, every season. I used to spend $2,000 a game. It's 40 games in a season. So you guys can do the math from there. And that was the time when AI was doing his thing. So I was there every game, rooting him on. He was my man. But as I got into personal development and stuff like that, I seen all the things that AI was just rocking off of talent. And he didn't want to cultivate the gift, which is the talent that he had. So you guys, only one part of the 4 questions is discovering your talent, is discovering your gift, your innate strengths. All right. And your gift is the thing you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. Your gift, I'm going to say it again, your gift is the thing you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. So when AI realized that he was an athlete who played basketball and football, and he did it really, really good with the least amount of effort, at that time, he, should have, or somebody could have pulled him up to the fact that, hey, you have to cultivate that gift or, you will lose it. It won't be multiplied and you won't become fruitful. And that's the reason why, some of those contracts were squandered and things like that. And, he's picking himself back up now, you know what I mean? And I just hope he can get it together. I see him, talking to kids and things like that now. I just hope that, he can use this platform to help people, to do it a little bit better than he did, because they're not going to have as much talent as he did. All right. That's what that's all about. So you guys got the 4. Let me run the 4 down for you real quick. One was make sure you get them. Yo, this is valuable content. You're not getting this content nowhere else. Straight like that. I don't care. Your greatest motivational speaker doesn't have this content. They're number 1 in the world right now because they don't know about the kid. All right. You heard what I said? And as soon as we get there, this is going to change the way that it's approached for years to come, because this is not a shower. All right. Motivation is like a shower, right? Ain't that what you told me, James Penn? Showers don't last. You got to do motivation every single day. But once you develop your why, once you take this content and you make this part of your repertoire, then you need less of the motivation every single day, because you've taken it and you've made it intrinsic. All right. Not the extrinsic stuff. All right. The extrinsic stuff comes and it goes, but the intrinsic stuff is the stuff that lights a fire in your belly. So one, we have to find out what makes us come alive. Number 2, we have to find our innate strengths. Number 3, we got to figure out where we add the most value. And number 4, we got to figure out how we're going to measure our life. Yo, listen, if you guys didn't write none of that stuff down, you can catch the replay. All I know is that my why statement really, really helps me give people the right tools to make them more productive. Because when I spit my why to people, they automatically are connected to what we have going on. It's not a superficial thing where they think they're just coming to get something. We're teaching people how to develop. So when you come in, Trevor, here's something for you. When you come into AWOL, we teach people they have to write down they have to write down personal goals, they have to write down career goals, and they have to write down a social contribution. All right. And I develop their whys through that right there. So you want to transform people's lives, but when they write those things down, when they give me an excuse why they didn't come, I take it back to their kids. I take it back to the stuff that they put down on the paper. Well, you said you wanted to be like Rico and be the example. Here's the social contribution. So why you ain't come to work? Why was you late the other day? Why you not doing your homework? Your social contribution simply said you was going to do this stuff. Now, if you lie to yourself, you left with nobody else to trust. So I can't, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I already know I can't trust you because you lying to yourself. I'm hip to you. All I know is I know my why, and I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my unique gift. That's why I'm doing things totally different than everybody else. So real quick, in our culture, in AWOL Fitness, the founder, I'm the founder. My why has been fused into the culture of the business. All right. If Mike or Rico, y'all got y'all tag on? Y'all got y'all, or y'all left it at the gym? So we got name tags.
I got my joint.
All right, do me a favor. Read the why statement on your name tag. So all of our trainers, they walk around with the why statement on their name tag. If you do me a favor, read the name tag.
Our mission statement. Our ultimate objective is to increase the overall quality of life, of your life, by transforming the mind and the body with a holistic approach of training.
All right, so he said that we take a holistic style of approach to training. That sets us apart from the very, very, very beginning. Taking a holistic style of approach, that means, look, we're going to do mental fitness, we're going to do physical fitness, and we're going to do spiritual fitness, right? We got a triangle. We got a triangle. Our AWOL sign is a triangle, and we the mind, the body, and the spirit is all going to be touched in the joint. Yeah, my shit's crazy, man. It's mad science to everything that I got going on. You think so? I take the God body stuff. I take the Rhonda Byrne stuff. I take all that stuff, and I cook it in a pot. I throw it all in a pot, and I get a little sprinkle of Kabbalah, right? Then a little sprinkle, then a sprinkle of the Quran, right? And then a sprinkle of the Torah, and then a sprinkle, you know what I'm saying? I got all that stuff in there, and then when a Jewish person come in there, like, dang, how you know about that? And then you got this person come in there, and that person come in there, and boom, I'm able to stretch this thing out, man. And I've been stretching, I've been manufacturing stuff. That's what I did. You understand what I'm saying? So the game don't change, just faces and names, the state, the weight, the date, and the Jake. Y'all crazy, man. It's all universal, man. So listen, you guys got your homework. Your homework for this week is to develop a why statement and to answer those 4 questions that will help you figure out your purpose and your why. All right. If you didn't, catch those 4 things, please just go to the replay. I've repeated them quite a number of times. I truly appreciate everybody being on this call. I know these calls are adding value to your life. So I'll put the pyramid back up next week, and what we're going to do is recap the last 5 or 6 weeks because we talked about the whole entire pyramid. And from that point on, you guys, we'll figure out which way we want to go after our recap. Honestly, I really want to go back from bottom to top because that's the way I normally teach it. So I'll ask you guys for some feedback later on. But until then, I want you guys to develop that why statement and figure out your purpose and your why from those 4 questions. All right, I got to sign off, man.